Gamers and gentlefolk, hello and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I'm going to be your host for the evening, The Sound, and tonight we are taking a look at the Grand Finals, no, I'm sorry, not the Grand Finals, the Divisional Finals of B-East. We're going to be seeing Gen.M Esports take on Hotstads in a best-of-5 series. I'm thrilled to see these two teams make it to the finals. They're some of the strongest teams in this division. Take it from me, I was in this division. And both of these teams performed very well throughout the regular season. They also both have some experience in a divisional finals setting before. I don't believe either have clinched a divisional title yet. So they're both vying for it still. This is the first season that these two teams have played in the same division, also worth noting. Gen.M, in their 6 seasons of NGS play, have floated between Nexus Division and Division B, with the 5-season tenure of Hotstads spent between Divisions B and D. So it's their first opportunity to take each other on and clinch divisional finals. Let's take a look at the regular season standings to see how we got to where we are. Gen.M had a very strong regular season, finishing with 39 points. Hotstads, also a very strong season, 32 points. So even though they're 1st and 7th, very few points separate these two teams. And that just kind of speaks to the level of competition that we've experienced here in B-East. We can take a look at the postseason bracket to see how we've gotten to this finals. Gen.M had a nail-biter in the quarterfinals going against Ground Up, but in the end, they were able to clinch their last 2. And Hotstads, a little bit of a smoother sailing, only dropping 1 map thus far. Let's take a look at our battlegrounds to see where we're headed. Here we are. For Game 1, we're headed to Battlefield of Eternity. That is the selection of Hotstads. In a rare, at least for them, move, Gen.M opted for first pick in this series. As the higher-seeded team, they were given that option. We also saw map bans go out onto Alterac Pass and Sky Temple for Gen.M, with Dragonshire and Cursed Hollow banned out by Hotstads. So that's how we got to where we're headed for Battlefield of Eternity. This is a very, very tricky battleground to play if you don't pay special attention to the vision around the objective. So vision tools are going to be very important in this draft. And it looks like we are kicking off the draft for Game 1. So let's hop on over and see how our teams approach it. Having done a little bit of preparation, I can tell you that the Muradin ban, not just a strong ban for the battleground, also a very strong pick for Hotstads. So it's a pretty direct target. The Uther as well. Uther has been the go-to support for Hotstads thus far this season, which a lot of people, I think, have a lot more priority onto the Rhaegar or the Brightwing Lucio, but it doesn't matter if you're not that good at those. You know, if Hotstads feel most comfortable with Uther, it makes sense for them to have the priority on it, and it also makes sense for Gen.M to ban it away. We'll see the first pick, Tassadar, for Gen.M. Not the strongest hero for Battlefield of Eternity, but a pretty highly contested pick between these two teams. Tassadar has featured in 45% of all Gen.M games, and not quite as many Hotstads games, but still a fair number. So there's Anduin and Yrel as the response. Yrel, a great pickup for the battleground. Her ability to go over terrain can be a huge boon in finding out-of-vision engagements. And the vision thing is something I'll continue to harp on. It's a big factor of playing around on this battleground. Next two picks here for Gen.M. They've played a lot of Johanna and Rhaegar historically throughout the season. There's the Tychus pick and a Blaze as well. So pretty traditional picks on all sides. We also saw the Stukov ban and the Joe ban on the side of Hotstads. Some solid picks, some comfort picks. And there's the Rhaegar ban. Okay. So they've done their homework as well. Gen.M won't have access to the Joe or the Rhaegar, which have been big success points for them throughout the season. I expect to see another tank ban here. It's going to be a Chromie ban instead for Gen.M. And there's the Greymane pickup. An excellent hero for burning through immortal HP. Definitely one that you want to pay a battleground where you want to pay attention to that objective. The immortals are some of the most powerful objectives in the game. So picking up the Greymane definitely helps ensure that you'll have a way to chew through the HP pool. May for the tank pick. Interesting. Not the most common choice in the meta, but one that Hotstads has played in the past. I had the pleasure of broadcasting their last match, and they had some solid performance on the May. There's the Varian Tyrande to finish things out. And last but not least, Kale Foss. Okay. So let's take a look at our two drafts as our teams get ready for Game 1. On the side of Gen.M, they don't necessarily have the most tailor-made composition for the battleground. I think Hotstads has a little bit more of an emphasis towards the battleground with the Greymane and Yrel pickups, but I will say that Gen.M have drafted heroes that they've performed well on throughout the season, as have Hotstads for that matter, so it's going to come down to that vision control that we were talking about, as well as the execution overall. Tyrande, of course, offering a lot of vision control with her Sentinel. We'll see if that's the difference maker as we get into Game 1 here in our best of 5. All right, and introducing our teams for the first time. Here on the left in blue, we've got Gen.M Esports, Infofox playing Tychus, Sir Mac of Cheese on Tyrande, Coffin playing Varian, Leo Rice on Blaze, and Kobo playing Tassadar. And to the right in red, our challengers, Hotstads. We've got King playing May, Kakarot on Greymane, Godly Noob on Yrel, User Error playing Anduin, and Q-Ball on Kale Foss. We can take a look at our level 1 talents as we get into the first wave of the game here. Yrel opting for Maraud's Insight at level 1. Recently buffed in the second to last patch. Guys, we get so many patches, it's hard to keep track. We've also got Lion's Maw for Coffin. A very weak early game for Gen.M until Varian gets that level 4. But we've also got Lunar Blaze and Static Charge for Kobo. Infofox scouted in the bush. Q-Ball found them with that Flame Strike. Hotstad's playing it very passively on the bot side, even with the free for Varian. On the other side, Q-Ball has opted for Mana Addict level 1, looking to stack up globes. Leo Rice getting smacked around by Godly Noob here. Maraud's Insight, notable as the better dueling talent for Yrel. I don't know if Leo caught that Greymane rotation. Looks like they know on the side of Gen.M, so they do the reciprocal move onto the bottom siege camp. So great rotation from them. Also worth noting that we've got Q build from May. At level 1, we've opted for heavy pack. So more of an emphasis on the blinds that Snowball offers. On the top side, Leo Rice getting through this wave with relative ease. And Hotstads continuing to play it safe as Kakarot finishes their rotation to join back up with the rest of the defense. So a little bit of damage here done on the front wall in bot lane. On the top side, not much has happened from the reciprocal siege camp. Level 4's drawing nearer here. Both teams neck and neck on experience. Checking in on the top side, Godly Noob has gotten through one of the towers, so effectively, oh my gosh, of course I missed the first takedown of the game. Either way, Hotstad secure first blood, because I was more concerned with the structures. That will probably be harder for them to pull off moving forward now that we've achieved level 4. Taunt is online. Varian has scaled to get a lot more HP now. Both of our teams a little bit late on the camp start, but Hotstad's able to cap it in time. Gen.M is going to be a little bit tardy to the party on that front. And we've got Energy Royal from Q-Ball at level 4 for Kael'thas. So they've got a lot of cooldown reduction whenever they land their gravity laps. Yrel was able to get a little bit of, or think about getting a little bit of damage there. Both teams rotating. It looks like Gen.M are interested in playing for the defense. There's the Leap of Faith from user error, so that will not be up for the next time Coffin has their taunt available. Kobo coming down to do a little bit of wave management. And there's the taunt again, this time on the King. They still have their trait available. Infofox falling very low. Tirana does not have the healing throughput to help out. Godly Noob makes the rotation in. Sir Mac of Cheese will go down. Another 2 takedowns for Hotstads. Leo Rice unable to stall that rotation from Yrel. So that will likely win the halftime show in favor of Hotstads. A decisive engage. Q-Ball hitting 2 with the gravity laps there made a big difference. And that also brings them to an early level 7. Kakarot still has their Inner Beast active. We can see them ripping through that Immortal HP. Of course, Gen.M does have a fair bit of Immortal burn themselves. Sir Mac of Cheese can apply Hunter's Mark, which increases the racing capabilities. King getting out with sub 600 HP, but making it out all the same. So Gen.M were able to catch up a lot here on the race towards burning through that Immortal's HP. At level 7, anything strange of note? We have Sunfire Enchantment for Q-Ball. Perhaps we'll see that paired with Pyroblast at level 10. Godly Noob has made the rotation here on the top side. They're walking around with their hammer out. Level 4, the Slush Ball from King shuts down the fort momentarily, but in the end, Gen.M make the defense without too much trouble. And Spell Armor at level 7 for Sir Mac of Cheese. A little bit of a surprise from me, although I do not know Yrel's talent tree all that well. Both teams doing a great job staying even on experience, in spite of those 3 takedowns in favor of Hotstads. The Mercenary XP and Minion XP difference has allowed Gen.M to stay within a half level. We've also got a rotation to top from Infafox. Leo and Infa will get another camp pushing here. I don't know if Godly Noob has scouted this rotation or not. Leo Rice does not connect with the jet propulsion. They'll eat some tower shots for their trouble. We can check back in on the bot side. Cue Ball making the rotation towards the Bruiser camp. That's going to get scouted out by Urel. Godly Noob putting a lot of damage onto Infafox and stalling these rotations from Leo and Infafox both. Coffin lurking out of vision here. They're going to go deep under the fort, but oh my gosh, the two hero gravity laps. Infa falls. Cue Ball doing such a good job to peel for themselves there. We saw the heroics come out. That was a huge snowball in onto Coffin. Another stun follow-up. They've got the shield wall at 10, but they're in a world of hurt here. Coffin falling very low. They've got the protected to keep themselves up. Leo Rice does not connect with the jet propulsion. They'll drop the bunker here. And Tychus is on their way back from spawn. So the camp in top lane will require some attention from Gen.M. There's the taunt onto Godly Noob. We saw their Ardent Defender used on that failed Kel'Thas gank. Hotstads making the rotation further up here with Kakarot hitting this Immortal for free. So we've seen heroics going out on both sides. Gen.M are continuing to play towards their composition's pick win condition. Varian really wants to get onto these heroes, putting a lot of damage in onto King. Sir Mac and Cheese caught by the light bomb. On the bot side, User Air getting chased down by the Tychus. Leo Rice in a world of hurt. They don't have the bunker any longer. Godly Noob gets the stun into the wall. There is a black hole. Leo Rice once again a little bit wide with the jet propulsion. We saw the drill go down here from Infafox on the bot side. In the end, Hotstads will still get the better of that halftime show. No, I'm sorry. They're behind. Gen.M a little bit ahead here towards the next objective phase. It's going to be a tight race with both Immortals spawning in safe positions. Cue Ball doing a great job finding the experience on the side lanes. We've also got Kobo, Leo Rice, and Sir Mac and Cheese getting through this Bruiser camp. That's going to apply additional pressure on the bot side. Infafox getting rotated on here by King. I don't think they're going to make it out alive. No chance, especially with the heavy CC from the light bomb added up. There's the taunt onto Godly Noob. They've got Ardent Defender back up, so they're just trying to stall these rotations. Body blocks are pretty solid. Coffin in a lot of trouble, as is Leo Rice. Bunker is back up, but I don't think we're going to see Varian make it out alive. Sir Mac and Cheese can't keep them alive without those auto attacks. We do see the Ardent Defender used once again. Cue Ball pulled out by user error, but with the Varian missing, I think Gen.M are going to have a hard time getting the defense here. A double stun onto the Grey main here. Godly Noob drawing focus as much as they can, trying to do that Urel thing of applying pressure and getting out scot-free. On the bot side, however, that Bruiser camp has really put hurt on this bottom fort. It is way down below the halfway mark now. So in spite of losing the first objective, Gen.M are ahead structurally. Of course, they are behind a talent tier now with 13s in Hotstad's hands. About a full level lead for the paternal figures of the Nexus. Godly Noob drawing a lot of aggression from Gen.M. The root and stun follow-up. Leo Rice finds Godly Noob with a jet propulsion. The laser drill dropped by Infafox will zone Hotstads off a little bit further. Hotstads are ahead on the objective race. and they're going to get busy taking care of their bruiser camp. Would love to see Gen.M try and get aggressive here while they've got the room to. Down 13s, it's tough. Oh, Kobo's in a rough spot. King on the backside gets the snowball in. Godly Noob able to buy a lot of time for the rest of Hotstads. We've got Bunker, but it's not going to get thrown down before Blaze falls. So likely another objective going over the Hotstads here with the takedown on Kobo and Leo Rice. Hotstads doing a fantastic job to play around their objective and the lane states. And also, I'll say, they're having a lot of trouble dealing with this Yrel. The Hand of Freedom, coupled with the Righteous Hammer, definitely making her a slippery target. It's a 4-hero commitment to the top lane from Hotstads. They've also got their Bruiser camp behind them, and this is where King's level 4 Slush Ball really starts to hurt Gen.M. They've got Sylvanas at home, and it's your favorite Overwatch climatologist wearing a panda suit. Here comes the rotation in from Godly Noob. Leo Rice scouted by the Yrel. Looks like that is all of the push that Hotstads are interested in getting with their objective, taking this opportunity to rotate down, get some Slush Ball value, and take out both of the forts for Gen.M. So Hotstads definitely in the lead structurally at this point. Level 13s were achieved during that push from Gen.M. It's going to make Infofox a lot more survivable with Neosteel Coating at 13. We've also got Coffin opting for Shattering Throw. So a bit of a Mei tech pick there. The Shield Breaker talent at 13 rather than a heal reduction. Leo Rice has a lot more damage to bring to bear now that they've got Jet Propulsion upgrade Collision Course at 13. Godly Noob trying to stall these backs, but in the end, all of Gen.M will make it out without so much as a wave from Hotstads. And we can see that this experience lead, it really comes down primarily to the takedown experience, as well as the passive, of course. But the 5,000 takedown experience that Hotstads have in their favor, 8-0, the takedown count currently, is definitely keeping them ahead and has them at this talent tier advantage. We've got Executioner for Kakarot at level 16, so Greymane doing additional damage to slowed targets. We've also got Templar's Verdict from Yrel, both very powerful talents, and User Error on the Anduin has unlocked a big power spike for the whole team's survivability in the form of Glyph of Faith. Q-Ball and Kakarot immediately doing damage here, while Godly Noob and King zone the rest of Gen.M away. So it's going to be a really quick halftime pickup in favor of Hotstads. Of course, this has unlocked the next talent tier for Gen.M. Godly Noob stalling the rotation. They get the taunt onto Yrel, pops the Hand of Freedom for the retreat. And Hotstads setting up on the objective here. I don't think they've scouted Yrel. Kobo able to use the Shadow Walk, but they're stuck in these stuns. Leo Rice on the other side falling very low. They'll have to Jet Propulsion out. And they're in full retreat. Infofox falling low here too. They pop the Neosteel Coating. That spell armor now missing. Godly Noob finds Infofox once again. They're going to activate their trait. They opted for In the Rhythm at level 4. King drawing another charge from Coffin. Kobo booped away by Godly Noob. This slow play definitely advantages Hotstads. Oh, there's the boop in. with a perfect light bomb follow-up. Infofox receiving so much healing from Sir Mac and Cheese. King hits 2 with the avalanche. Godly Noob will jump in and keep the body blocks going. They're chasing down Tyrande here. King narrowly escapes with sub 300 HP, and Kakarot gets back up onto the top Immortal, immediately shredding through this objective HP once again. I was talking about how the slow play was not in Gen.M's advantage because of the lane state. This objective will be headed to the bottom lane, I believe, while this Bruiser Camp pushes top. So double lane pressure in favor of Hotstads here. 10-0 the takedown count in their favor. Gen.M still on an even talent tier. They'll be able to defend this objective, but with how much shield HP Hotstads were able to secure, I wouldn't be surprised to see it get through this bottom keep. Kobo and Infofox, both very low range heroes, and so it's difficult for them to put damage onto this Immortal safely. Godly Noob looking for the engagement on the Yrel over this wall. Look for them to hop over and boop Infofox in as they play towards that objective. They're able to get the run gun out to safety. Yrel set back up for the same play. Infofox pops the trait and wards them off. Sir Mac and Cheese falling low here. Leo Rice finds the jet propulsion onto 2. There's the first leap of faith from Anduin, but the bot keep still goes down. About a half level away from their Storm Talents. Hotstads are going to back up, decide not to try and push their luck on core, and instead set up for the next siege camp. The easiest place for them to find experience on the map outside of the minions in top lane, which Godly Noob is able to clean up rather quickly. Gen.M are going to have a hard time finding engagement before the level 20 power spike if that is their goal. And they've got a long way to wait as they wait for their own Storm Talents. Godly Noob scouted by Leo Rice here, and Storm Talents online for Hotstads. Gen.M are far from home. Sir Mac of Cheese takes a lot of damage. Leo Rice has to drop the bunker. Yrel instantly blows up. Holy cow. First takedown, and they do it down Storm Talents. King very low here. They'll fall as well. User Error no longer had either charge of Leap of Faith, just now coming back off cooldown. So in spite of having their heroic, or their Storm Talents, they fall nonetheless. There's the pull from User Error. They get out. Gen.M secure their first fort. Sir Mac of Cheese will die to the Ignite proc. Cue Ball able to put a lot of pressure at a safe distance thanks to the level 20 Flamethrower. And losing the Tyrande there is a real costly moment for Gen.M. They won't have their healer available to them in this next objective phase. And they're still 3/4 of a level away, maybe 2/3 from their Storm Talents. Of course, the objective spawning where it has also advantages Hotstads. Gen.M getting that bot fort has helped them a lot to even out the lane pressure, but it's still definitely a advantaged position for Hotstads. You can see both teams getting onto the race. Pretty easily won by Hotstads without the Hunter's Mark from Tyrande. And still no Storm Talents for Gen.M. They're looking for Godly Noob and Cue Ball. Leo Rice jet propulsion's in, but in the end, they're able to escape. King looking for the flank here. You see Coffin use that Shattering Throw. On the bot side, Kakarot and User Error have continued to plug away at this objective. Godly Noob trying to find another cheeky rotation in. Cue Ball will have their their Gravity Lapse back up here shortly. Once again, the Map state being in Hotstad's favor means the patient game is their best win condition. They're trying to chase down Infa and Leo Rice. Leo Rice does have the bunker, but doesn't have the time to pop it. There's another gravity lapse onto Coffin. Kobo heals with the black hole. Sir Mac of Cheese running away through the other path. And Gen.M have been fought off for long enough to give Hotstads an opportunity to secure another objective. All three of the Immortals going over to the red team here in game one. Leo Rice has been trying to hold their bunker to the last minute, and it has been very costly for the side of Gen.M. They've got their Storm Talents. I didn't call it out when it happened, but Force Barrier for Kobo gives them a little bit more space to follow up. Seraphim from Godly Noob is going to make it very challenging for Coffin to find taunts on the Urel, who has been the primary target of Gen.M's engaged throughout the game. Huge explosion from the KT spells there. A massive Q. Oh my gosh, so much damage onto Sir Mac of Cheese. Godly Noob boops Coffin in where the minus armor comes from. Pop Keep goes down. No heroics really to speak of outside of the force wall. They trade tank for tank. There's the Urel takedown as well. The Immortal will get through the core's shield and a little bit of the HP there. Almost 50% taken out before Gen.M are able to clean it up. They've got a power play on the map. I would love to see Gen.M try and take care of this top fort. Looks like they are trying to find Hotstads on the map, getting onto this camp here. With it, I expect that they'll go under the fort and clean up that structure. Once again, the periodic catapult spawn on top lane will help alleviate the constant catapult pressure that Hotstads have unlocked with the keep takedown. So Gen.M are stabilizing a bit, but it really is razor's edge. If Hotstads continue to get these teamfight wins during the objective phase, I don't think Gen.M will be able to withstand another Immortal. Godly Noob scouted. They get the leap out. And they charge up the hammer once again. The Seraphim and Righteous Momentum... Righteous Momentum? Yeah. Combination means it is almost impossible for Leo Rice and Coffin to heal for Infofox, Kobo, and Sir Mac of Cheese. Hotstads, once again, have the opportunity to get onto the Immortal first, thanks to the advantage lane state. Godly Noob sidesteps the jet propulsion from Leo Rice, immediately taunted away, and there's a lot of damage onto Kakarot. So much damage, in fact, onto the Greymane. Godly Noob has used the Ardent Defender already. They'll also scoot away with the Hand of Freedom. Infofox dropping the laser drill so that some pressure is applied. Sir Mac of Cheese chased down, solo killed by Godly Noob. Level 16, Urel does a lot of damage with the Templar's Verdict. And so we see them setting up and taking chunks out of heroes whenever they can. 3 catapults on the core for Gen.M means that all of the DPS runs back to take care of it, down to 17% on their core HP. And it is a very healthy shield for Hotstads currently. Coffin running in without the healer. They don't have much option. As I said, I think this is a lethal Immortal no matter how you slice it. Even if Gen.M are able to team wipe Hotstads here, which seems highly unlikely, there's just too much HP on this objective for them to deal with before it gets through the last 17% of their core. Especially with this run-in from Godly Noob, they're going to get the connection onto Leo Rice. They pop the bunker, so they'll survive and escape with a jet propulsion of their own. That is another defensive tool Hotstads no longer, or that Hotstads was able to get out. Kobo taking so much damage. Leo Rice deep in here. They're fighting past, but they're on an island. They pop the Juggernaut plating, but they get booped back in by Godly Noob. Infa and Kobo are focused entirely on the Immortal. We see the Hunter's Mark go out on it as well. Hotstads chasing down the Tyrande, and Kakarot connects with the core for the last couple autos. GG and well played for game 1. A huge play from Hotstads, who did an excellent job controlling the objective phase. They looked good on their map pick. Very comfortable with the Mei tank. Yrel was a constant thorn in Gen.M's side. We can take a look at our post-game stats here. Hero damage happened, you know, I think takedowns is perhaps the largest disparity that we can see. 15-4, the first 8 or 9 of which went unanswered in favor of Hotstads. And checking in on talents, we'd already called out King's Q build. I got to do a post-game interview with them after their semifinal series. This is King's preferred Mei build, so it was not just a tech pick for Tychus, it's just what they feel most comfortable on. Godly Noob opting for the race car Yrel build with both Righteous Momentum and Hand to Freedom at 7 and 4 respectively. So there you have it. Game 1 in the bag. Hotstads able to apply a lot of pressure. I will say that in the regular season matchup between these two teams, this is also how the series started. Hotstads was able to get a very convincing win in Game 1 against Gen.M, but Gen.M was the victor of that series. They were able to come back in the next 2 games. This is, of course, back in September, so many games have been played since then. But Gen.M were able to take it 2-1 during the regular season, so no reason to count them out. A team that's been around for 6 seasons and has been in a Coastal Finals before definitely has the mental fortitude to come back, but Hotstads definitely looked very comfortable with the Yrel composition there. Godly Noob pestering the backline of Gen.M all throughout that first game. And I'll say Q-Ball on the Kael'thas had some really big plays. Lots of stun setups with their Gravity Lapse, setting up for their Maze Blizzard. So it's a excellent choice. Q-Ball looked very strong on it. And it looks like we do have the next Battleground selection. Gen.M have opted for the map pick this time. And we are headed to Infernal Shrines for game number 2 in the series. So we get to see both Diablo maps, games 1 and 2. We're also headed to perhaps NGS's most popular map, seeing the most play across all divisions. There are some notable detractors, Limebus and Snarfungus and Rodney all come to mind as people who do not care for playing on Infernal Shrines. But it is a favorite for a lot of reasons. Lots of folks enjoy the power of the objective, the teamfight focus that it can bring with the shrine, drawing many 5v5 team fights. I'll say that Gen.M's composition from Game 1, the Tassadar in particular, definitely a lot better suited for this battleground compared to Battlefield of Eternity. Of course, Hotstads have a fair number of choices they could fall back on again that we saw in Game 1. Kael'thas is an excellent hero for stealing away Shrine Defenders on the objective, as well as the Yrel pick from Godly Noob. I would be surprised if we didn't see a Yrel ban come out from Gen.M after how strong of a performance we saw in Game 1. Of course, they would have to abandon the Murden and Uther bans, so we'll see if they adjust those bans at all, or if they're going to try and stick to their guns based on the draft prep they did. Alright, we've got our next draft up. Oh, and I guess we'll just cut to it. So here we are. Hotstads have the opportunity for first pick this time around. Notably, there are very few Hogger games that Hotstads have played. So even though it's Infernal Shrines, I don't think Gen.M or Hotstads have a super comfortable Hogger player. We have seen Hotstads flex onto the Hogger in the past, but it's definitely not one of their more popular comfort picks. And here's the question: if Gen.M agree that the Yrel from Godly Noob was a big problem for them, they're going to stick with the Muradin ban here in the first slot. Because as we saw last game, Hotstads are very happy to first pick, or pick in the first round. They're willing to pick that Yrel. So Gen.M could try picking it away. Last game it was a Johanna ban. Johanna even better on this battleground. I'd expect to see another Jo ban. Yeah, keeping things just the same. Last game it was an Uther ban. It is the support of choice for Hotstads. We'll see if Gen.M stick to that strategy. Uther, I can't really theorize and theorycraft around Uther because I see it so rarely. So his suitability for the battleground, really anyone's guess. A first pick Yrel. Well, there you have it. That is how highly they prioritize the Goat Paladin. Sir Mac of Cheese grabs away the Anduin. And there's the Tassadar. Once again, this is one of the more highly contested picks between these two teams. So I'm not going to be surprised to see Gen.M put a lot of emphasis on that pick. It's one of their comfort picks that they've had a lot of success with throughout the season. So they are likely loath to give it away to Hotstads. Speaking of, Kakarot picks up the Tychus, and there's the Rhaegar for user error. Both solid heroes for the objective. Hotstad's still missing a tank. So we'll see if Gen.M looks for a further choke on that hero pool, or if they're going to try and deny the Kael'thas pick from Cue Ball. They do prefer the Mayban. Okay. So we'll see what that puts Hotstads on here for game 2. Gen.M still have a lot of options available. There's the Falstad ban. So, a global ban. Bit of a surprise, but I guess the Gust disengage that the Falstad offers might be what Hotstads are concerned about. We could see a Zagara pick here. That's something that InfoFox has shown some preference for. And there's the Dahaka Varian. Okay. So all the front line. A very fast Anub Kael'thas pick. And last choice here for InfoFox. They played Tychus last time round. They've played some amount of Zagara and Greymane during the normal season. Of the two, I think I prefer the Greymane choice. And that's exactly what they go for. Excellent. So let's take a look at our drafts as our teams load in here. So Godly Noob is on the Urel again. It definitely seems like a specialist pick for that player. And it's also a great matchup into Varian. You know, being able to boop away a charging Varian is a excellent form of disengage. The Anub'arak definitely not as survivable, especially into the Greymane. So Gen.M looking to go front to back here. Hotstads has decent ability to do the same with Tychus, Kael'thas, Anub'arak. So once again, I think it's going to come down to the execution. Hard to say which draft I prefer. We'll have to see how our teams fare here in game 2. We can introduce our teams once again. On the left, we've got Gen.M Esports, InfoFox playing Greymane, Sir Mac of Cheese on Anduin, Cawthon playing Varian, Leo Rice on Dahaka, and Kobo playing Tassadar. To the right in red, we've got Hotstads, King on Anub'arak, Kakarot playing Tychus, Q-Ball on Kael'thas, User Error playing Rhaegar, and Godly Noob on Urel. Checking in on our level 1 talents. Got a little bit of indecision from some of our players, but we've also got some pretty typical stacking talents that you might see. Static Charge for Kobo at level 1. Lion's Maw. Leo Rice gets the drag onto Godly Noob. They've opted for Dauntless at level 1 as opposed to the Maraud's Insight that we saw in game 1. A very quick first clear on the wave for Gen.M. Once again, Hotstad's playing it very cautiously, even with the pre-4 Varian on the side of Gen.M. This cautious play is denying Gen.M opportunities to get stacks. There's a great route onto Q-Ball. First 3 stacks of Lion's Maw there. And Gen.M continue to commit 4 heroes to the bot side here. Leo Rice has made the rotation in on Dahaka to mid. Oh my gosh, InfoFox goes over the wall. Unfortunate interaction with the burrow charge from King. Last auto attack from Kael'thas will seal it for first blood. A really unlucky bit of interaction there. And Godly Noob is close. Looks like it's going to be a 5 hero commitment to this invade. Gen.M know that it's happening due to that beetle spawned by the trait from King. What they opt for at level 1, the Rubian Armor. Leo Rice digs in, but there's not enough CC on the side of Gen.M to keep Hotstads in range. So Hotstads will get both their safe side and the far side siege camps. InfoFox has been working on this bottom side camp with Sir Mac and Cheese in mid. There's the engagement in onto Kobo. King gets a great body block. Sir Mac and Cheese no longer has the Leap of Faith available. We saw that committed to the over-the-wall play. So that's going to be another takedown in favor of Hotstads. Experience, things are relatively even. There's a pretty heavy minion experience deficit that Hotstads have made up for with their takedown XP advantage. First objective announced here in mid. It's an Arcane Punisher. Neither team has prepped their cruiser camp. We see Godly Noob getting onto it now. Both teams about a full level away from the level 7 talent here. And Kobo gets set up. They're going to be able to put a little bit more pressure here thanks to their level 4 electric fence. But with the early camp take from Hotstads, they're going to get the first opportunity to get onto this objective. This is where the Living Bomb from Kael'thas can be really punishing for the members of Gen.M. There's a huge taunt, and they have to burrow charge. Oh, King is very low. Godly Noob trying to get body blocks here onto Infofox. Coffin continuing to chase. Gen.M definitely have a bit of an advantage while Varian has access to his heroic, and the rest of Hotstads do not. They're going to get a quick 30 objective minions here. They go in onto Leo Rice Kakarot using the trait, but in the end, Gen.M clean up the objective. On the top side, the Bruiser Camp for Hotstads won the stalemate fight. King draws the jump over the wall, and Kobo does a great job keeping King in range of the Punisher's punishment with that force wall. Level 7s on both sides. Urel once again opting for Righteous Momentum, and Q-Ball going for Sunfire Enchantment. It's a spell power boost if you're able to land 2 auto attacks on 2 enemy heroes after you've used your trait. And Infofox going for the full cocktail build on Greymane. Q at 1, perfect aim, and the quest Incendiary Elixir at level 7. It offers a lot more safe damage, poke damage, that Greymane isn't necessarily known for outside of that cocktail build. So both teams trade their siege camps this time around. A slight experience lead for Gen.M. Once again, thanks to almost 3,000 experience of minions in their advantage. You can see that is not due to any offlane. Oh my gosh, here's the rotation in from Godly Noob. Sacrificing another top wave, trying to find a pre-heroic engagement. They get the boop in onto Coffin, but Coffin is still very healthy. They'll draw the double stun for the King as well, but there's a taunt. The cleanse from user error, the commitment of Purge there, means that they won't have it for this heroic deficit push. We'll see where Gen.M looks to leverage their advantage. Would love to see them apply pressure to the top lane, as that is where the next objective is spawning. It's going to be a Mortar Punisher in top lane. How are we doing on stacks? We've got heroics on both sides. Coffin looking for the taunt. Godly Noob taking so much damage, they're going to have to use the Ardent Defender at the last minute. So they get out with their life, but unfortunately they won't have their heroic up for this next objective in all likelihood. Yeah, it is a long cooldown. Leo Rice gets the drag onto Godly Noob and interrupts the Avenging Wrath, slowing down the wave clear from the Urel. Once again, Hotstads are going to be able to get their Bruiser Camp out ahead of Gen.M. Lots of folks don't necessarily prioritize it when the objective spawns in top, but it can give you a vision advantage, which is very helpful. And it also means that they are first on the scene to start collecting these minion spawn. We've got Leo Rice continuing to soak up on the Dahaka. That is the advantage that a global can bring. But Hotstads are taking advantage. Godly Noob gets the boop in. Leo Rice gets the tongue over the wall there, and taunt and takedown. Yrel immediately falls. Of course, it's come at the cost of 30 Punisher, or 30 Shrine Defenders. Kakarot with the Odin likely going to be able to clean up those Shrine minions. But Gen.M are doing a fantastic job aggressively zoning out the rest of Hotstads. There's the dive in, immediately followed up by the taunt. A silence as well. Leo Rice does not connect with the drag after the... Oh my gosh. Sir Mac and Cheese, are they going to be able to save Infofox? The Desperate Prayer will do it. Kobo has been able to secure 21 Shrine minions. User error fights in, and with Kakarot finishes up the cleanup. Godly Noob continues to pressure Kobo out here. It looks like Hotstads have re-established their position here. User error able to get the Ancestral healing off this time. And so Godly Noob has their heroic back off cooldown. Infofox falling very low. They're going to walk into the Flame Strike and die. Alright, so Mortar Punisher going over to Hotstads this time. Level 13's in favor of Gen.M, but it's not a super useful talent tier as far as this objective defense is concerned. And it was just a little bit too large of a lead for Gen.M to withstand there. They're trying to bait the Punisher over. Kobo and Sir Mac and Cheese end up taking the jump. So they get through the top fort, but after that, Hotstads, once again, do not want to overstay. We've got Godly Noob starting up this far side siege camp. Leo Rice putting pressure onto them, trying to prevent Yrel from getting too far along before the rest of Gen.M can reinforce this position. Really heads up rotation from Leo on the Dahaka there. Of course, Hotstads probably are going to be able to pick up this bot side siege camp. They've got a catapult in top lane pushing against them, or pushing for them, I should say, that Leo Rice has to go deal with. Next objective will spawn in the bot side. Infofox backing up to their wall, understanding that Hotstads have been doing a fantastic job finding ganks out of vision. But once again, the experience, in spite of losing that fort, still favors Gen.M. Leo Rice putting a lot of damage on the Godly Noob here. Of course, I'm always concerned with the off lane, but never here to catch when takedowns happen. Hotstads find another, this time onto Infofox. The cocoon immediately broken by Kobo. Leo Rice hearts back. Worried that they were going to get rotated on by the rest of Hotstads. A little bit of weird timing for that top camp on the side of Hotstads. It's going to give Gen.M the opportunity to clean it up. Oh my gosh, Coffin immediately pulled away by Sir Mac and Cheese. Both teams on an even talent tier here. We do have Flip of Faith. Godly Noob eats the Cursed Bullet. King coming in. There's the taunt. Leo Rice, do they have the drag? The Ancestral Healing doesn't go off once again. Infofox Worgen's in and falls. I don't know if Leo Rice is going to make it out alive. Oh, the boop in hits the light bomb. User error falling very low. Ancestral will be used on themselves. And, oh my goodness. Cue ball falling low. They pop the arcane barrier from their level 1. All the while, Gen.M have not cleaned up the top lane. There's a catapult and a very healthy wave. So, almost 3/4, if not this whole keep, is going to go down here. That was a real tough teamfight loss for Gen.M. Hotstads doing a fantastic job to turn the engagement around on the blue team there. And it was a good fight for Hotstads to win, not only because it gives them this next objective, but also meant that the top keep suffered heavy damage. Another 30 defender lead in favor of Hotstads. Godly Noob coming in, putting pressure on Coffin. There's the cocoon, and once again, the far range of Odin likely going to seal this next objective. There it is. Hotstads once again securing a Punisher. This time a Frozen Punisher, one of the most efficient tools for pushing. Godly Noob trying to find that rotation in onto Leo Rice. Coffin gets the jump over this time, but once again, the reason that the Frozen Punisher is so effective is its ability to shut down these structures. Leo Rice fishing for a tongue with their level 16 range increase, elongated tongue. There's the pull from Sir Mac and Cheese. They don't have any charges of Leap of Faith left, and Gen.M have done a fantastic job cleaning up this objective. There's another catapult mounting in top lane. So Leo Rice is going to have to hearth back to deal with that. I expect Hotstads will use that opportunity to take away this bottom camp. Godly Noob daring the rest of Gen.M to try and engage on them. Eats a cursed bullet for their troubles. And now the experience heavily favoring Hotstads in the race towards 20. The hero takedowns really starting to make the difference here, as well as passive and mercenary experience. Leo Rice digs in. Once again, oh my gosh, are they going to get caught by the double stun? And the follow-up, they receive the Leap of Faith. Sir Mac and Cheese back down to 0 charges of the Anduin cleanse. Leo Rice looking for a drag, no doubt. They're going to take a lot more CC, and there's the cocoon onto Coffin. Hotstads seem to have a lot higher uptime on their engages, with Godly Noob finding all of these righteous momentum flanks. Infofox was able to finish off their level 7 quest, Incendiary Elixir, so they've got more Qs to throw that could very well help out on the objective, but it's really going to come down to if they're able to get to the objective on time. That has been Gen.M's issue thus far as they trail towards the Storm talent tier. Little bit of a hide-and-seek game from Hotstads here. Now that they've got their Storm talents online, I expect them to be a bit more decisive. They're going to come down, maybe work on finishing off this bot side fort that is already heavily damaged. Speaking of, what talents do we have? Rewind, we've got Run and Gun for Tychus, Bob and Weave rather. So additional charges of Run and Gun. Cue Ball once again opting for Flamethrower, Yrel with Seraphim at level 20, and Farseer's Blessing for user error on the Rhaegar. Godly Noob just daring Gen.M to engage on them. And there's the next objective. Level 20s on both sides, however, so it's an even talent tiered fight. It is advantage for Hotstads in that they've got the healing fountain and they are a little bit earlier to the objective. Godly Noob looking for the engagement. There's the taunt onto an Uberak. They draw the bullet. Oh my gosh, so much CC. Leo Rice under towers. InfoFox taking a lot of damage, and Kakarot using so much damage to take care of these blue team members. There's the web onto Leo Rice. Coffin falling very low here. A great drag onto user error. They've already used the Ancestral Healing. Kobo has to Shadow Walk out. There's the protected from Coffin. InfoFox falling very low as well. Leo Rice caught on the wrong side of the force wall. There's the Pyroblast. Sir Mac and Cheese will survive, but unfortunately Leo Rice was not as lucky. Not sure where the contagion landed, if it landed, but in the end, Hotstads were able to win another decisive team fight on the objective. Godly Noob continuing to apply pressure on these side lanes while the rest of Hotstads finish off the top objective. So they'll be summoning an Arcane Punisher here in top lane, while Gen.M try and alleviate the other lane pressure and get things moving here in mid. There's no wall for the keep as well, so King in range of the Punisher jump could be a decisive engagement. Godly Noob ignoring mid lane, looking instead for another flank with the Righteous Momentum. InfoFox and Kobo, both the most likely targets for this next Punisher jump. Coffin able to draw it in the end. And they've done a great job kiting the Punisher around. The mid keep will take a little bit of damage, and Kakarot popped the Odin. Bit of a surprise there with how little of a commitment we saw out of Hotstads towards that 4 call. Godly Noob eats another Cursed Bullet. There's the slow from the Electric Fence. Kobo will have it back up again thanks to Force Barrier. Leo Rice likely going to go tend to bot lane here. There's the Catapult mounting. Godly Noob looking for another flank here on the bot side. Kobo scouts them out. They're still mounted. And they're able to escape with the Seraphim proc. I expect Leo Rice has their global available. They do. Coffin gets another taunt onto King. Godly Noob finds both DPS with that stun. Oh my gosh. A lot of damage onto InfoFox here. They're able to survive for a little bit. Godly Noob trying to chase him down. Coffin on the front line, taken down by the rest of Hotstads. We got the Dahaka to rejoin the team, but unfortunately the decisive engagement from Hotstads, their inability to kill Godly Noob while they run them down on the Urel, has been the major issue for Gen.M in this series. They're going to work on the mid fort here. They're able to go under with the trait beetles from King, as well as the totem from user error. InfoFox able to get the camp out and Hearth to safety. So lane pressure continuing to mount on all fronts on the side of Hotstads. With the next objective spawning in bot lane, they'd love to get this or this keep wall down. Coffin is back up, ready for the defense here. And if Gen.M are able to find a kill, a decisive kill off taunt, that'll be kind of their win condition for this next objective phase. Godly Noob has been doing a great job dancing around, interrupting the coordinated play that a taunt engagement really requires with their Righteous Momentum usage. Leo Rice gets the lick. Coffin finds the taunt. They have to use the Ancestral Healing, and there's the Ardent Defender as well. they're able to escape in spite of the isolation thanks to their level 20 Seraphim. So 2 big heroics used on the side of Hotstad's. Gen.M still have a fair number, but they've also got 2 catapults spawning in the top side. Godly Noob hits the stun onto 3 on the backside. Sir Mac and Cheese playing very safely on the bot side of the objective. Godly Noob continuing to find these flanks. Kobo is the target. Infofox turning around onto King here. Oh my gosh! Yrel able to escape a little bit. They don't have a jump, I don't think. They're going to get it there. Alright, so the core is falling, however. How many catapults? We've got 4 catapults? Oh my gosh. They could kill the core. Hotstad's doing a great job stalling backs here. I don't know if... Yeah, Leo Rice cannot clean this up. That's going to be the game. Oh, they get the drag! 54 core HP. This is insane. Okay. Hotstads do not win off of that core push. They were robbed, truly robbed. And now a Frozen Punisher with a Nubarak missing. This is do or die for Gen.M. They need to win on this push if they want to win this game too. Real neck and neck game. Leo Rice immediately starts hearthing. They looked for a drag with their Brush Stalker. They won't have it back up. So they're tending to the mid keep. They're worried about it, especially with Nubarak spawning here. Of course, Yrel has been the major problem. King, oh my god, instant follow-up from Hotstads. They clean up another takedown. Kakarot trying to threaten Coffin here. There's the Pyroblast. They use the Inner Fire onto Kobo for the armor. And now the core of Hotstad's falling here. Leo Rice walking back. This Punisher's still pretty healthy. User error will fall. Coffin falling very low, as is the core, and that'll do it. A really tight game 2, but in the end, a heroic defense made in favor of Gen.M clutches them the game. Wow. I thought that those 4 catapults spelt doom for the blue team, but in the end, their decisive win on that team fight made the difference. Absolute nutty end to that second game here. You can take a look at our post-game stats. Very low takedown game. Only 8-10. So both teams playing very disciplined as far as their defensive play is concerned. Sir Mac and Cheese making it out with 0 deaths, as did Kakarot on the Tychus. And looking again at our builds, anything out of the ordinary? Nothing too strange that catches my eye. Q-Ball really likes the Energy Royal at level 4 cooldown reduction rather than the Netherwind range extension for Kael'thas. We saw Kobo use their Shadow Walk at 13 to make some pretty important timely escapes. King opting for Debilitation at level 16 rather than Epicenter. Definitely a lot more common to see the stun area increase from Anubarak at level 16. So as tight as a game can be, absolute insane end to the second game. And it brings the series to 1-1 as we get prepared for our third game of the series. We'll see if Hotstads prefer first pick or map pick. This is their first opportunity to choose between the two. Last time these teams met, the 2 maps that Gen.M were able to win were on Dragonshire and Volskaya. So I would be a little surprised to see Hotstads take us to Volskaya. And of course, Dragonshire already banned. So I'd expect a Towers of Doom pick, if I'm being honest. I also know that Hotstads are unapologetic Zul'jin pickers, so they might like to pick a more team fight, brawly focused battleground like Braxis Holdout can be. Of course, Zul'jin gets picked on Volskaya all the time as well, so even though they've got a losing matchup history to Gen.M on that battleground, we could very well see Hotstads opt for that choice nonetheless. Anyway, while we wait for game number 3, for anyone who's tuned in midway through the series, welcome. Glad to have you. We are in the midst, 2 games into our Division B-East final. We've got Hotstads and Gen.M Esports taking on one another in a best of 5. So we've still got at least 2 games ahead of us, if not 3. And keep cheering along in chat. You know, I see a lot of you cheering for both sides. It's great to have the community in your corner. I know I've always enjoyed going back and watching VODs when my teams have ended up on a broadcast. So keep letting them know how excited you are for this final. And we'll see which team. I believe this would be the first divisional win for either side, in spite of both teams having made it to a divisional final in their history thus far across 6 seasons for Gen.M and 5 seasons for Hotstads. A little bit more on their postseason progress thus far. Gen.M had a nail-biting series in their first round of the playoffs, going to a full 5 games against Ground Up. But their semifinal was a lot smoother sailing, taking it 3-0 over Can't Pause, Won't Pause. On the other side, Hotstads were able to sail through their quarterfinal matchup against the High Inquisitors with a 3-0, and they were able to take on, who was it now? I've got a bracket right here. In the semifinal, they lost 1 game to CM Daybreak, but in the end, it was still a 3-1 win. And it looks like we do have our next lobby up and available. We're going to be headed to Braxis Holdout as selected by Hotstads. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Zul'jin pick here. This is a map that people often kind of set up in a very dogmatic 4-1 laning arrangement. It's good for a Zul'jin if you go 4-1. I don't know how much experience Gen.M or Hotstads have on this battleground. It's one of the least common ones that we see in the Nexus Gaming series. So there are very creative and alternative drafts and lane arrangements that you can do on this battleground, you know, especially with picks like Medivh, Genji, Falstad, your globals, being able to overweight one side of the map and take advantage of that winning side definitely is an option. You do not have to do the dogmatic 4-1. So we'll see. We'll see how our teams approach it from a draft perspective. Yrel, another good battleground for her. So when Hotstads has picked the Zul'jin, it's been Godly Noob who role swaps to it. So that would change the off-lane matchup. Likely we'll still see Leo Rice off-laning for Gen.M, but if Hotstads are looking to get a troll stacked, then it very well could be a role swap coming out for Hotstads. Let's get into it. Let's see how the draft shakes out. Games 1 and 2, Murd and Uther have been the bans. Notably, this is not the best battleground for Uther. So I'm going to be interested if Gen.M stick to their guns here on the Uther ban. They also, Hotstads that is, have played a fair bit of Oriel. There's the Yrel ban instead. Okay. And this can be a very good battleground for Oriel. So even with Uther up, I don't know that we'll see it out of Hotstads. There's the Johanna ban. So Hotstads sticking to their same bans from games 1 and 2, with Gen.M getting Yrel out of the picture this time around. We'll see what the first pick priority is. It's going to be Anduin. Very interesting. Okay. I believe in game 1 it was the Tassadar, and there's the Tassadar pick. Paired with the Dahaka as well. So Anduin continues to be a contested pick amongst our two teams, which is interesting. It's pushed Gen.M off of their preference for Rhaegar that they've shown throughout the season. Next two picks here, we've got Chromie and Leoric. All right. So Chromie offering a fair bit of wave clear and vision control with her time traps. I think I prefer Dahaka in the Dahaka-Leoric matchup. There's a Junkrat ban on the side of Hotstads. So we'll likely see another variant pick from Coffin. It's the pick of preference when they don't have access to the Johanna. Next two picks here for Hotstads. They don't have access to the Mei or the Anubarak. So we'll see if they keep the Anubarak pick from game 2. They're going to take away the Varian and pair it with the Tychus. So they've got a lot of burst damage available to them now. Last two picks here, Coffin has been isolated in the draft. Hotstads focusing on that hero pool with the Varian counter pick and the Johanna ban. So we'll see what that puts Gen.M on this time around. Falstad and ETC. And so there's the focus on the global. Infofox is going to be able to make rotations to the off lane. Hotstads, I don't know. Yeah, they've already got both of their DPS, so it's just a healer pick or user error. Traditionally, they pick Uther when it's up, and there it is. Uther is the choice. So even though it's not largely considered a good pick for the map, it is the hero comfort that they've got. So they're going to opt for it even with the heavy mana cost. Gen.M, especially with the poke from Chromie, I'm kind of preferring their composition to that of Hotstads for game 2. It's going to be tough, I think, for the Leoric to beat Dahaka on top lane, but they've also got the Falstad to make rotations and help them out on that front. Having a hero, a global in the 4 hero rotation, definitely a stronger advantage than on the off lane on this battleground. So I definitely prefer the draft from Gen.M, but Hotstads have been showing some really solid micro play. So we'll see if that is the difference maker. We've got Infofox playing Falstad, Leo Rice on Leoric, Kobo on Chromie, Sir Mac of Cheese on Anduin, and Cawthon playing ETC for Gen.M. And on the right in red, we've got Hotstads, Kakarot playing Tychus, User Error on Uther for the first time, King on Varian, Godly Noob on Dahaka, and Q-Ball playing Tassadar for their first time. Level 1 talents, anything out of the ordinary. We've got Varian opting for Overpower at level 1 rather than the Lion's Maw quest. So this increases the burst damage that Varian can apply to the pick targets that they're looking for. Infofox opting for Gathering Storm, trying to get stacks on their Hammerang. And we've got Enhanced Agility for Dahaka. What is this one? Wave of Light. I believe that's the W for Uther. And Static Charge for Q-Ball. Already up to 2 stacks there. Cawthon opting for Block Party at level 1. A bit of a surprise. Does not connect with that Power Slide, unfortunately. On the top side, Leo Rice opting for Austin Renewal. Godly Noob has already tapped well. Infofox and friends getting on to this first camp. Forgoing this wave for the time being. Kobo's going to get the first channel on the bot side objective. On the top side, Leo Rice sidesteps that drag from Godly Noob. And I believe was able to deny the globes as well. So I'm not going to miss First Blood this time by staring at the offlane, I promise. A great push from Gen.M thus far. Already 2 towers on the top side. Oh my gosh. I should have been focused on the offlane if I wanted to catch First Blood. What a disappointment. Gen.M able to get that thanks to the rotation from Infofox. That is the global pressure that Falstad applies. Cawthon gets the slide onto Uther. Uther falling very low. Cawthon may fall here. A great time stop onto King. King still does not have their level 4. They're going to get a lot of healing from that Lion's Fang. Checking in on top side. Leo Rice duking it out with Godly Noob. So objective channel stalled for the time being. Infofox making another rotation. They still have Fly available. Oh my gosh, the drag means that the burrow was unavailable to Godly Noob. They'll fall once again. So 3 takedowns unanswered thus far for Gen.M. Level 4s on both sides. We do have Taunt. First objective, channel complete. It's a full Zerg wave headed top lane. Looks like Gen.M are sticking in the bot lane, however. So they're going to apply split pressure. Checking in on the top side. Zerg already through the front wall. Infofox able to escape without too much trouble. Q-Ball is able to do a lot of clear on this Zerg wave. So about half of the top fort will go down. Godly Noob playing with fire here. But Cawthon unable to connect with the power slide thanks to that movement speed from Godly Noob's level 1 enhanced agility. Level 7's just around the corner from Gen.M. That's thanks largely to the minion kill disparity as well as the takedowns. Godly Noob unable to collect experience when they've been dead, which is how we see Leo Rice with that higher number. A little bit of slow wave clear from Gen.M here. It's giving Hotstads the opportunity to get both of their camps out ahead of the blue team. Of course, the bottom focus from Gen.M means that the front wall is down on that fort as well. Level 7s on both sides. Whoop, 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 whoop. What do we have here? Oh, and level 8, I'm sorry, that's important for Chromie because she's got her heroic. We can see it here. Slowing Sands was the choice for Kobo. That's going to be really hard for King to deal with, honestly. Up to 31 stacks of user errors, Wave of Light. Checking in on top side, Leo Rice and Godly Noob really duking it out here. It looks like Leo Rice will get the solo kill, however. Yeah, with no mobility, King is going to have a lot of trouble navigating the battlefield with Slowing Sands up. We did see Hand of Protection from user error at level 7, which is also another reason that you might want to pick Slowing Sands rather than Loot. Cleanse exists. A little bit more pressure added to the top lane. Checking back in, there's the time stop onto Infofox. About a full level lead in favor of the blue team here. They're going to start channel on the objective. And Infofox immediately starts the rotation up to top. Godly Noob will commit their burrow already. That's a big slow. Setting up for the body block here. Godly Noob will fall. On the bot side, Coffin is able to power slide to safety. Q-Ball gets the force wall onto 2. Kakarot connecting with the... Oh my gosh! A great fly in, and there's the Gust. Heroics are online for Gen.M, and that'll cost the Tassadar their life. Man, it is a rough game for Godly Noob. These rotations from Infofox have been so punishing. 6 takedowns unanswered in favor of Gen.M. We saw the Gust there. They've still got the rest of their heroics available. Entomb, Slowing Sands, Light Bomb, and Mosh Pit. Not a lot of interrupts for Mosh Pit either on the side of Hotstads. They've got Tychus Grenade, and that's it. They might get another one at level 10 with Black Hole. Godly Noob loses the fort in top. Leo Rice focused on that in that whole push. On the bot side, we're likely going to see another fort takedown as Hotstads look for the level 10 talent tier and their heroics. A 4-hero commitment from both teams here towards the bot side. And just a sliver of experience away from the next talent tier. I actually don't know how many sacks Infofox has. I just know that he's already got the 30 required to finish off the quest. Either way, those Qs are absolutely nuking waves. Hotstads finally have their heroics. They've opted for Odin, Divine Shield, Shield Wall for Varian, Isolation, and Black Hole. So a heavy experience lead now in favor of Gen.M. Once again, every time they are able to get those kills onto Haka, they're not only getting an advantage from hero takedowns, they're also denying a lot of minion XP. So that's why we see such a heavy differential between Leo Rice and Godly Noob's experience contribution, and therefore the team's minion XP. Uther finishes off their level 1 quest. What does that do? Increases the duration of devotion. So they have a half-second more of the armor that they're able to apply. Hotstads still trailing by about 2 full levels here, with Gen.M clearing out this bot side objective. Looks like they're going to try and scout a rotation from Hotstads opting for a deep flank here. Leo Rice spooking in. They've got the Entomb on cue ball. There's the Divine Shield, immediately the Mosh Pit onto Kakarot. Godly Noob in the back here. They're potentially in a lot of trouble. They've still got the Burrow, I believe, and Drag as well. A stun lands onto 2. Cue ball falling low. There's the Leap of Faith. Godly Noob tries to turn around with the Drag, but falls nonetheless. The Divine Shield was solid to save cue ball, but unfortunately the flank from Godly Noob was a little too deep. There's the taunt onto Infofox. They are able to roll to safety. King now caught deep in the slowing sands. Leo Rice likely to get another slow. There's a great gust from Infa. There's the slowing sands under the power slide. Another takedown in favor of Gen.M. 8 unanswered thus far for the blue team. With the objective spawning, we'll see Infofox use the fly to immediately get to top objective. The rest of Gen.M posturing under this bottom keep a bit. We'll see King respawning here in the next 5 seconds. Godly Noob using their move speed from their level 1 to run towards top and stall this objective channel as quickly as possible. They do show on vision when they recap the objective. Alright, so Godly Noob knows that both Infa and Leo are in range here. Another objective channel going over to Hotstads. They've almost equalized on talent tiers. Level 13, Leo Rice opted for the range on the Wraithwalk, so they're able to immediately make their way to safety, dodge that drag from Godly Noob, and Hotstads have equalized talent tiers, so we'll see if that's the big difference maker here. Kobo getting chased down. There's the slowing sand. They dodge the drag from Godly Noob. Godly Noob in under the fort. Leo Rice cuts off the rotation. A huge mosh pit. There are no mosh interrupts with Kakarot in the Odin. Gen.M going to continue to chase here. Would love to see them immediately make the rotation towards the top objective and the boss instead, but who doesn't want to get another takedown on Tychus? Infofox slows them once again with the Hammerang. All of these takedowns will secure the next talent tier, but no further objective progress. We see Infofox immediately fly up. Godly Noob would love to get through this top fort if possible, walking up here to try and escape with their Hearth, while Gen.M applies pressure to the bottom keep. Catapult now connected. I don't know that cue ball is going to be able to save this keep with the Catapult still in range. Godly Noob stalls the objective progress by using their Brush Stalker to flip the bot channel. So Gen.M will fall back. 76 objective progress. Godly Noob immediately tries to get the solo kill here on Infofox. They'll get it with an excellent use of the isolation. So that's a tough 1v1 to lose. Leo Rice trying to wrest control of top point from Godly Noob. They have not opted for the percent damage talents on either W or their auto attack. I mean, W is always percent damage, but you can extend its duration and whatnot. So 92% now in favor of Gen.M. They were able to get it. Hotstads having a lot of ground to make up with their first takedown coming in about the 13-minute mark of the game. I would love to see Gen.M start up this bottom camp, continue to apply point pressure. How much HP did that bot keep have? It's so low. Time Walker's Pursuit from Kobo doing a lot to protect these rotations for Gen.M. And we'll see the double camp play from Gen.M. Hotstads are going to have to get aggressive here if they want to turn the game on its head. Of course, they're down a talent tier, and the map state is heavily against them. Hothan goes deep for the mosh, but the stun immediately connects. They've got the light bomb. Godly Noob is deep here, but they lose their ETC first. Kobo likely to fall here. Sir Mac and Cheese unable to find either hero with their Leap of Faith. I don't know if it was on cooldown or not. I hadn't taken note before the fight started. So that's a tough position to be in. All heroics used on all sides. We get another drag from Godly Noob. Leo Rice is going to be able to continue applying pressure on the top side. They look for the rotation, finding Infofox and applying a fair bit of damage there. Dodges the drag, however, so Godly Noob falling very low. They're going to have to walk away a bit. There's the Entomb. Yeah, Godly Noob is going to die here. Cue Ball does not connect the force wall, but they will get the first channel on this objective. Leo Rice stepping up. Sir Mac and Cheese doing the same. Oh, Mac, you're in trouble. You're in deep trouble. You got to get out of there. All right, they're able to do so with the move speed from their level 13 Enchanted Boots, Lion speed. And the talent tiers are even. Still heavy experience advantage. Oh my god, Infofox falling very low here. We see Cue Ball throw the black hole towards Sir Mac and Cheese, but Leo Rice is on to the Tassadar on the bot side. The objective was channeled in favor of Gen.M. A great gust catches King. Godly Noob gets the drag onto Kobo. They're very low. Sir Mac and Cheese does not commit the Leap of Faith. On the top side, Cue Ball able to take out the ETC. Godly Noob falling low here. Wow, that's a lot of damage. So not entirely sure how the ETC fell. Definitely a hectic comms moment with Kobo falling low. They lost the focus there a bit. Infofox trying to chase down Godly Noob, but they're able to escape with their enhanced agility. So not a lot of progress out of that objective. The top wall of the keep takes a fair bit of damage, but that is a very happy defense if you're a Hotstats fan. And they've closed a lot of the experience gap. You know, those 4 takedowns worth almost as much as the 13 takedowns that Gen.M was able to secure. We've got more mercenary experience for Gen.M, but the minions have actually started to favor Hotstats thanks to how far out the minions have been pushed. Infofox rolls in to finish off the keep, and they'll fly out to safety. So constant catapult pressure now in favor of Gen.M on the bot side. This is the trickiest part of the game for Gen.M to keep command of. They want to get to 20, but it is difficult for them to do so. I guess this top wave is going to get them pretty darn close, but Hotstats know it, and so they're going to aggressively push with it, especially with most of Gen.M showing on the bot side. With level 20 in their hands, yeah, Gen.M immediately going to get onto this boss. I think it's reasonable to set up a stronger push. Leo Rice dragged by Godly Noob. Oh, the play around that bush draws the Entomb, but the move speed definitely favors Godly Noob. Cue Ball using the Oracle at level 13 to find Coffin in that bush. I would love to see Gen.M get a little bit more aggressive here, but it is tricky. Playing safe means that they're going to get this objective channel. Kobo taking the safe rotation to the bot side. And so that'll start the next objective phase, channeled in favor of Gen.M. Boss just now connecting with the top key. So Hotstads defend their last outer structure easily. I expect to see a vision from Cue Ball, but they use it super late. Oh my gosh, Uther dead. No respawn available. Infofox eats a lot of damage. There's a great slide from Coffin after using the tour bus. Mac finds the Dahaka in the backline. Leo and Coffin on the other side taking a lot of damage. King will fall. Cue Ball chasing down. Oh my gosh, so much damage. Leo will fall. Godly Noob makes it out alive. Importantly, however, this is a full Zerg wave running at an open core. So we've got heroics or storm talents on both sides, but this is going to be a tough defense for Hotstads to make when they've got no healer to make the chip damage fall away. Godly Noob drags Infofox once again. Infa trying to get really aggressive. The Zerg wave a little bit caught up on the minions there, but the core is taking a lot of damage. Hotstads are respawning. Coffin committing to the defense here. Kobo falling very low, but the core will fall nonetheless. GG and well played. This time, the win going over to Gen.M. Fantastic play from the home team, utilizing their global with aplomb. All of those early game rotations from Infofox put Hotstads heavily on the back foot in that game. So even though Infofox started to become a target for Hotstads in the late game, it was the early game pressure that the global pick provided that I think swung the game so heavily in Gen.M's favor in the early going of it. Talents, what do we have? Nothing too out of the ordinary. User error opting for Tears Deliverance at 16 rather than Benediction. Benediction definitely the pick I'm more accustomed to seeing at 16. And unfortunately, user errors rotation into that unscouted area was really what cost Hotstads that late game team fight loss. So that is what did it there. Gen.M take the lead as we get into our fourth game of the series coming up here. I don't know if it's still going on, but we did have another series being broadcast earlier this evening. They started at 8:30 on the main Nexus Gaming Series channel. So that's twitch.tv/Nexus Gaming Series rather than Nexus Gaming Series 2. That was a Division C match. So you could be multi-streaming right now if you wanted to, all friends who are viewing. So keep in mind, it's an option. While our teams decide on the next battleground, I'm going to take a quick break here. So stick around, but I need to get some water and get prepped for our next round. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are midway through. Here, let me get myself out of here. I'm just blocking things. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are midway through our best of 5 Division B-East final. Currently, Gen.M are up 2-1. We are headed to Volskaya as selected by Hotstads coming up. This is, importantly, a battleground that was featured in their regular season matchup between the two, and it went in favor of Gen.M in that regular season match. So they feel very comfortable on this battleground, even though they didn't select it. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Zul'jin pick from Hotstads this time round. And it looks like we should be off to the races for our next draft here shortly. Thank you all for your patience as everyone has gotten set. So let's get into it and see where we're headed for Volskaya Foundry. If the role swap from Hotstads is the special sauce they need to bring us to a Game 5. Gen.M sticking to their guns with the Murden ban. Hotstads have banned pretty much the same thing in the first round every time. I'm sorry, they have banned the same thing in the first round every time. It's always been Stukov Johanna. We'll see if they change their mind. Yeah, Murden and the Urel adjustment from Gen.M, I think, is a big part of what made that third game so much easier for them to navigate. Godly Noob on the Urel has been a terror, though I do predict that they'll be role swapping here on this battleground. And there's the Johanna ban, keeping it the same. They don't want to see Coffin on the Crusader. We'll see where the first pick for Gen.M is this time round. Opting for Anduin again. So making sure that Sir Mac of Cheese has a comfort pick. I would expect Hotstads to grab the Tassadar here, as it is one of the more highly contested picks between the two teams. Instead, we've got the Zul'jin first pick. And the Hogger from Kakarot. So this is likely the role swap. Kakarot, in the games that I've had the pleasure of commentating in the past, is the Hogger player for Hotstads. So Zul'jin will be Godly Noob's hero choice. We'll see what the next picks are for Gen.M. Chromie Blaze. Okay. I like the picks there. Chromie and Blaze both offering a lot of area control on a area control focused objective. With that said, Hotstads are pretty happy to lose objectives so that Zul'jin can just stack. We'll see what their ban is. Getting rid of the Falstad, which was so effective in Game 3 from Infofox. And they still have the opportunity to ban away the Uther here. So we'll see if they stick with it or instead opt for the Mei ban. As that has been their go-to in the past. So they're sticking with the Mei. User error has the opportunity for the Uther once again. Hogger favored in the matchup against Blaze from a dueling perspective, but this isn't necessarily the best battleground for Hogger. There aren't so many places to find useful team fight spins, as we see Hotstads pick up Anubarak and Rhaegar. So the Anub Hogger pairing means that there isn't a lot of HP on the front line of Hotstads. And Rhaegar picked away. Oh, I guess Gen.M already have Anduin. So yeah, I guess they just aren't feeling the Uther this evening. We'll see another ETC pick. Of course, there are a lot more Mosh interrupts. This time round with Hogger and Anubarak both. Last pick here for Cue Ball, we could see either the Tassadar or the Kael'thas. We, of course, could see something completely different. That's what we've gotten out of them in the last 3 games. We'll see if they stick with it. Mephisto. Alrighty. So that is a very different look. So let's take a look at our drafts. It's not game 1 at all. Game 4. Alright, so they've got a lot of vision tools for Gen.M. And they've got a far beefier front line. But the scaling on Mephisto and Zul'jin both are pretty gnarly. Zagara definitely scales well as well, getting access to percent damage on all of her summons at level 16 with Corrosive Saliva, but it is a tricky one for sure. And it looks like we've got a pause here from our 2 teams. So we will get into it as soon as they sort out whatever's going on. It's a tough one. I mean, I think if Hotstads are able to apply pressure to ETC, he's going to have a big issue staying alive into the Hogger. I'm sorry, not the Hogger. The Hogger and Anubarak, they both apply a lot of pressure to a front line. And Zagara doesn't get access to her big damage buttons until much later, so Anubarak is going to feel pretty healthy in the front line, at least until level 16. I think it's also worth noting that level 16 Corrosive Saliva is not targeted. So Zagara gets a lot more damage, but she cannot direct that damage. Not consciously, at least. The minion or the summon aggro is, at least for the Zerglings, Roachlings, that's what they're called, are a lot more random. So yeah, I think Hotstads have a lot of tools to take advantage of the early game strength they've got, but Gen.M could very well have the staying power with Blaze that they need. So let's get into game number 4. Gen.M trying to close it out here. On the left in blue, Infofox on Zagara, Coffin on ETC, Leo Rice on Blaze, and Kobo on Chromie, and Sir Mac of Cheese playing Anduin. And to the right in red, fighting for their tournament lives, it's Hotstads, Kakarot playing Hogger, King on Anubarak, Q-Ball playing Mephisto, Godly Noob on Zul'jin, and User Error playing Rhaegar. Level 1 talents, we've got Time Walker's Pursuit, so even more vision control in favor of Gen.M. Both Zagara Creep and the Time Walker's Pursuit option. Godly Noob has picked up Bone Slicer at level 1. That is their preferred option. You see the Purge used after both stuns from Gen.M get committed to the Zul'jin. Coffin taking the aggressive position here on the rotation. Godly Noob will check the bush. And I love that Gen.M are slowing down these rotations. They're clearing waves and getting out. It's keeping Godly Noob from getting those all-important you want axe stacks at level 1. Leo and Infofox get the invade here onto Kakarot. Kakarot will get a stun, and the rest of Hotstads are rotating in. Coffin is able to get some delay, but I think this has gone south. Gen.M might want to just get out of here. Yeah, Hotstad's able to secure their camp. And I don't think it cost them anything. Gen.M hadn't pushed out any of the waves. Leo Rice's jet propulsion not connecting, and Hager being unstoppable both made that invade a little bit less appealing than it otherwise would have been. And that means that Hotstads are going to have the opportunity to get their second turret ahead of Gen.M. So I'll be interested to see how much that affects objective progress here for Objective A. Once again, Hotstads may not be interested in winning Objective A. Oh, Infofox caught in a weird spot. There's the time stop from Chromie. Sir Mac and Cheese in range for the Leap of Faith as well. Godly Noob now up to 2 stacks of You Want Axe. That's a total of at least 10 auto attacks landed. Little bit of an experience lead for Hotstads here. That's the one I want. We can see that is thanks to the mercenary experience with that top siege camp pushed out ahead of Gen.M. Infofox taking care of that now. It means that this objective spawns while their camp is pushing in top. Leo Rice able to jet propulsion out as Godly Noob finds the rotation. And first objective channel goes over to Gen.M. Let's see. What do we have here? Godly Noob in a little bit of trouble here. No, Gen.M does not get aggressive. Infofox opting for Medusa Blades at level 4. Interesting. So a split push focused Zagara build. Yeah, and as said, I'm not surprised that Hotstads are not contesting this objective much at all. They are happy to give away this objective to give Godly Noob an opportunity to get stacked here. Infofox already up to 2 stacks of infested drop. And it looks like Hotstads will start their channel here. They'll be happy to sacrifice the objective at the end, but by contesting it before, it's giving them another opportunity to fight and get Godly Noob stacked. Infofox still pushing in top lane. Kakarot picking up the second turret. Hotstads committed their first turret to making sure that the objective didn't slip away from them. Infofox now in a fair bit of trouble. Leo Rice does not connect with the jet propulsion. I have to think they're a quick cast player. Kakarot gets a great wall bang, and there's the first takedown onto Infofox. King falling very low here. Leo Rice gets a large jet propulsion. Hotstads are going to have to back up, but once again, they don't care about giving away the objective because they're just going to have their Zul'jin chase the robot around the map and click on it. Speaking of You Want Axe, up to 6 stacks of it now. We'll see how much progress Godly Noob is able to make on it during this objective phase. On the top side, we've got Gen.M pushing with Kobo and friends. they've already gotten through a fair bit of this wall. In mid lane, Infofox applying additional pressure. We've got Heroics online for Hotstads. Portapult, Cocoon, Endurance of Hate, Pozdingo, who's wailing away once again. And Ancestral Healing. On the other side, we've got Maw, Mosh, Bunker, Slowing Sands. Oh my gosh, Infofox falling very low here. There's the Leap of Faith from Sir Mac of Cheese. Coffin, Mosh is on the spot, but unfortunately catches none. So that's a big cooldown that Gen.M are missing now. Godly Noob up to 9 stacks on their You Want Axe quest. They've opted for Vicious Assault at level 7, so more duration on that Q build, and Amani Hide at 4 rather than Voodoo Shuffle. So a bit of a surprise. Godly Noob with a great sidestep. They'll draw the Cocoon. Leorice trying to put a little bit of pressure there as well. On the top side, Q-Ball got the top camp out, so Infofox is going to have to tend to it here. They'll make relatively quick work of it with their levels 4 Medusa Blades. Neck and neck on experience, in spite of the hero takedown in favor of Hotstats. That's thanks largely to the minion experience deficit that they're facing, as well as structures. Each of these towers, oh my gosh, there's a big jet propulsion onto Godly Noob, followed up by the power slide. They pop Tazdingo. One more auto attack from Leorice, and they'll secure it. They keep chasing. Q-Ball did not connect with the Durance. There's the slide onto user error. Body blocks are good. Coffin unable to catch them. King did a great job peeling there. So with that takedown, we'll see how Gen.M choose to leverage that power play. Looks like they're going to focus on picking up the biotic emitter. King scouts it out and immediately burrow charges away. So talent tier advantage, at least briefly, in the hands of Gen.M. I expect them to set up here and try and take out the mid fort. Godly Noob would love to get some more stacks together on You Want Axe. They commit the turret to this push. Bit of a surprise. Level 13's on both sides. This is a big power spike for Kakarot on the Hogger, as well as Godly Noob unlocking Ensnare at 13. On the top side, Infofox has been rotated on by all of Hotstats. They'll drop the... I'm sorry, did I... Yeah, it is Maw. I know what Maw looks like versus Nidus Network. They dropped the biotic emitter, so it doesn't cost them an item, but that is a bummer to lose that item just for a somewhat sloppy rotation. Leorice is deep here. They've got Ensnare up, probably? But, okay, so there's the bunker. Hotstads going around collecting cooldowns as much as they can. Thinking about invading onto this camp. Leorice trying to persuade them to stick around, while on the top side, Zagara pushes on the fort once again. How many stacks do we have? All the way up to 8 stacks of the 12, I believe, necessary. Yeah, for the level 7 Bile Drop. That will cause Infested Drop to spawn an additional Roachling at quest completion, which when paired with level 16 is going to be a big deal. There's the stun. King does not connect with either stun. Leorice and Coffin are deep here. Hotstads have found the front line of Gen.M. It's a chaotic fight. Maw lands onto 2. There's the mosh pit immediately interrupted with the Cocoon. Cue Ball taking a lot of damage. Kobo isolated. User error uses the Ancestral on themselves. Durance lands true on to Coffin. And so 2 takedowns in favor of Hotstads. Up to 18 stacks of You Want Axe thus far. And it secures the next talent tier for them as well. This is where Zul'jin really starts to hurt with No Mercy at 16. Doing percent damage and ignoring armor. So it's a lot of damage to bring to bear. And there's not a lot of answers, especially with Leo Rice opting for suppressive fire at level 7 rather than nanomachine coating. Hotstads. Oh, there's the ensnare, followed up by the ground totem. Sir Mac of Cheese did not last. Godly Noob finds the pick there with the help of user error. And they're going to get pushing as much as they can. They're able to apply pressure once again. They've got siege generation tools at their disposal with King and user error, trait beetles, and totem respectively. On the bot side, Leo Rice is pushing through the front wall on the bottom fort, and Hotstads pick up their first objective. They've put their tank in the protector. So Gen.M could look to dive past. Infofox is going to likely get a fair bit of objective progress on their level 7 by stacking up on this protector. Level 17s on both sides. Leo Rice and Kobo cleaning up the mid-wave. If Infofox is not careful, they could die. Of course, I missed a 4-hero gank onto the Rhaegar in mid because I was too concerned on whether or not Infofox would get more stacks on Bile Drop. Godly Noob, there's the slow. Slowing Sands as well. Oh my gosh, there's no way this Zul'jin makes it out alive, right? There's the stun and the stun. Did not have the tools available, could not pop their heroic. So that'll be another fort taken down for Gen.M as they clean up the top side. Thank you for the raid, Nexus Gaming Series 1. I hope the series in Division C went well. This is Game 4 for our Division B-East final. We've got Gen.M really applying split push pressure to Hotstads here on Volskaya. The scaling has been good for Hotstads, all the way up to 21 stacks on You Want Axe, but some really clean rotations from Gen.M onto the Rhaegar and Zul'jin. Ooh, Cue Ball stuck under a fort here. Coffin unable to find them on the rotation. I like this rotation from Gen.M to apply pressure to the bottom fort. They got to get out of here, though. Kobo pulled away by Sir Mac Cheese. They still have one charge of Leap of Faith, thanks to their level 16 Glyph of Faith, and we are very close to our Storm talents on the side of Gen.M. It's thanks largely to the Mercenary XP as well as passive XP benefit. And there we have it, Storm talents. Infofox has unlocked Pack Instincts, so not only do they have Corrosive Saliva at 16, Pack Instincts increases damage to anyone targeted by Hunter Killer. Burn Notice from Leo Rice. That's too bad. Pick Bunker Upgrade, friends. It's so much better than Burn Notice. We've also got Piercing Sands from Chromie. Tour Bus once again from Coffin. We saw that in Game 3 have a major play. And then Inner Fire for Anduin. Hotstads have weathered the storm. Get it? Because Storm Talents. So they've got Storm Talents of their own now. No Control, Rewind, the Amani Resilience, Farseer's Blessing. Nothing from Cue Ball on Mephisto yet. Oh, and they find Godly Noob once again. There's the Mosh immediately so that they can't find any auto attacks. King very low. They'll draw the Ancestral Healing, but a stun. Do they have the Rewind available? I don't know if they do. There's the Durance, and it's the Silence Durance. But Leo Rice gets the bunker off anyway. Man. The solo Mosh on the Zul'jin, absolutely worth it. Zul'jin is a lot of the reason that Gen.M have been playing the split push game, but man, that was a lot of damage from Cue Ball. Level 16 Static Field does a lot of damage if Gen.M stays clumped up. Of course, they still have this Biotic Emitter to deal with the worst of it. Zagara's completed Bile Drop, so she has a bunch of summons as well. We can see 3 Roachlings coming down from that infested drop. Still 11 seconds until Zul'jin respawns. We'll see what Hotstads do here. Looks like they're going to fall back towards the turret camp, pick up another set of items for the next fight. And we've got constant catapult pressure in bot lane now, in addition to the periodic catapult pressure in top and mid. So map is now heavily in favor of Gen.M. Hotstads know where they are. They're making the rotation. Coffin able to zone effectively with nothing but a mean stare and an excellent game face. I don't know. There's like a rock and roll, because, you know, ETC is a rock musician. So, like, the Rebel Shout, Billy Idol, you know? Am I dating myself? Sorry, friends. Gen.M start channeling the objective. They've still got a catapult in top lane that'll apply a little bit of pressure. Coffin caught with the ensnare, and there's a great pull from Sir Mac and Cheese. They've still got one. Oh no, Infofox falling very low. A huge tour bus from Coffin. Oh my goodness, no control. And there's the Maw landing onto 3. They get 2 takedowns. Kakarot falls, Cue Ball falls, Godly Noob pops their heroic. They're going to fall low here, but I don't think they're going to die. Oh, they get the last auto onto Infa. Can you end with a Chromie? I think you can. I think you can. Certainly Gen.M is going to give it a shot here. Do they have any items left? They don't. I like that they're clearing the wave, because that catapult that's coming up behind them will help a lot. Still, 30 seconds until the Rhaegar respawns. As long as they don't group up. Oh my gosh, and the Chromie can tank things too. The bunker can tank things. Yeah, this has got to be it. This is GG. In the end, Gen.M able to take it in 4 games here against a very strong 7th seed. Hotstads showing that this division was very tight, but in the end, the #1 seed wins the division. GG and well played. Gen.M take it for game number 4. A fantastic showing on all sides, but in the end, the split push from Gen.M was enough to win them the game. And so that'll do it. Let's take a look at our post-game stats as I try and get prepped for a potential interview. The takedowns, still very low takedown, but once again, Gen.M was able to leverage those takedowns much better and getting the structure damage. And they, of course, got the all-important late-game teamfight wins as well. Alrighty, so there it is. In 4 games, Gen.M take it. Let me see if I can't wrangle one of those fine folks for an interview. In the end, it was a hard-fought series, and Hotstads definitely showed a lot of prowess, but unfortunately, they weren't able to make the difference on those last two battleground selections they made. And so Hotstads take it in 4 games. And it looks like we will be Gen.M, not Hotstads, Gen.M. It looks like we will be joined here for an interview by Kobo on the side of Gen.M. Let me just kick over to my interview scene so everyone can hear you. In the meantime, how you feeling after that really tight 4-game series?
I mean, this is why I'm losing hair in chain smoke, so things like this. No, it was good. It was a fun, evenly matched game series, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that the seeding definitely did not tell the whole story there. You know, the 7th seed team up against the 1st seed team, you wouldn't think it would be such a close series, but Hotstads showed a lot of really strong performances throughout the season, especially in the late season, the postseason, that is. So, well played to them.
Yeah, our game with them earlier in the season was also pretty tight as well. I had a lot of fun, a lot of goofy picks that we had to work around, just as you saw tonight. Durell's not something we've ever really played against, so it's kind of like, what do you do against this goat? It's just hopping all over the place.
She runs in with her silly hammer, and she's way fast, and she hits me and then jumps on me.
Right, like I got the timing for normal speed walking and whatnot. How do I hit this fast one now?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think you guys made an excellent adaptation in games 3 and 4, banning away the Urel. How much draft prep did you guys do ahead of time to know that the Urel could pose a problem? Or was it a total surprise?
We kind of made note of it a little bit, but we were not expecting it to be as impactful as it was. We were kind of focused more on the 4-man, and it was like, oh yeah, Leo, just go do your offlane thing, and all of a sudden Urel out of nowhere was like, oh yeah, this thing is disruptive. Let's stop that. And then, as a former offlane player, learned Urel a bit. She's an obnoxious bully in lane too, so it's kind of like, what? The variable that we didn't want to deal with anymore.
Absolutely, and it made a big difference. I'll also say that the Braxis approach that y'all had was super clean. Getting global for the core 4, being able to rotate Infa for those ganks. You guys looked very comfortable on that battleground. Is that one that you've practiced more often, or is that something that took you by surprise when Hotstads chose it?
It's not a preference, but we're not opposed to it either. It's kind of neutral ground in our opinion. Like we have developed some strategies for it. I like to do a lot of point control things, Junkrat, Chromie. Obviously you saw I like Tassadar for the walls. I like to be able to control the battleground as much as possible. And I think Braxis really plays into that as a strong suit. Because I mean, as you saw, there were a couple times where they were about to cap the point, time trap goes off, able to re-engage. Like just being able to do that as well as pressure the top by being able to send the second person up there instantaneously. It's one we don't practice a lot, but it's one that we have a comfortable strategy for.
Yeah, you guys looked super comfortable on it. And then when you got taken to Volskaya, I love the split push Zagara when faced with Zul'jin. Did you guys know that the Zul'jin pick, that roll flex was something I had the pleasure of commentating Hotstad's semifinal, so I knew that the Zul'jin from Godly Noob was likely to come out. Was that something that you saw in your scouting, or was that a surprise?
We suspected it was going to come out at some point, so we were kind of preparing for it.
Yeah, and I think the split push Zag is like such a good answer to it. And you guys were playing very disciplined. How much of the Volskaya comms environment is like just focused on Zul'jin is here, we should push there? You know, how much of it is focused on objectives? Like, was it at the start of it always planning to split push? Or were you thinking, we just have to get to certain talent here before we team fight? What was kind of the strategy there?
We knew Zul'jin wanted to farm the Protector because, well, Zul'jin do stacky things and get real obnoxious late game, and we wanted to try to avoid that as much as possible. So that's kind of what we were doing with the first Protector, was just avoid the Zul'jin, waste his time, basically make them run around the map thinking they knew what they were doing, and all of a sudden pop up at a different place. Was kind of our mentality with it. Was just drag it out as much as possible. Like, their main DPS, if you can distract him, like, what else is going to happen?
Yeah.
So that was our mentality there. And I mean, objective wasn't really a huge focus for us. Taking the camp, controlling the map was a lot more important to us than, oh yeah, let's get the silly Protector.
Yeah, it's not the most useful robot.
It can be when they don't have somebody who benefits from stacking off of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But avoiding that.
Yeah, I think that was really well played. So I believe this is Gen.M's first divisional finals win. Is that accurate?
I don't know. I just joined last season as a sub, so that's a great question.
Nice. Well, it must be that Kobo brought the special sauce to bring the win. So you guys will have the opportunity to go up against whoever ends up as the Division B West champions. Have you guys been paying attention at all to the other coast of the division?
I do not. I don't. I'm sure Fox and them have done their scouting and done their homework and whatnot, but I show up.
I can respect it. I'll say the field is still pretty wide open. I mean, they still have a semifinal that they've got to play, so there are 3 potential teams that you guys have to go up against. But of course, that means that you've got a lot of potential scouting opportunities. How much does the grand final mean in your mind compared with this divisional final win? I know there are some teams that, like, in their mind, the grand final is just more of a show match because they're playing against a team that they've never seen all season.
I mean, we're excited for it. Sorry, I don't really have any good words for it. We're excited for it. We're prepped for it.
That's fine. I mean, you've already secured at least 1 enameled pin. You might be able to get a even fancier one if you guys win the grand finals. But either way, you're divisional champions nonetheless. That's got to feel pretty darn good.
I always like a good win. It was a lot of fun. I really like the competition of this, so looking forward to doing more of it.
Awesome. All right, I won't keep talking your ear off, but before I let you go back and celebrate with the team, are there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Shout out to my team. Shout out for Cawthon and Fox getting all this together. I've been thinking of leaving for a long time, and people keep pulling me back in, and I'm glad that I got pulled back in for this one. So I really enjoyed it. Shout out to you, obviously, for casting it, NGS for hosting this, Hot Dad for putting on a hell of a match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This season has been a lot of fun.
Very cool, very cool. All right, well, I'll let you get back. Well played tonight, Kobo. Take it easy.
Thank you, you too.
So there you have it. Gen.M feeling comfortable in their map win, or their series win there. Their pin holders. It's going to be an exciting match when East faces off against West. Gen.M will either be up against Psystorm Probes, Spooky Ghosts, or Sexy Mofos. I have to confess that I have not been paying very much attention to B-West this season. I know that there are a heck of a lot of good teams over there. I've had the opportunity to scrim against Spooky Ghosts, so I know that they've had a very strong season. Gen.M will have a tough competition when they get to the grand finals, but they will certainly still be pleased with this divisional win in the B-East division. That'll do it here from us at the next gaming series. Before I sign off, I want to give some shout-outs of my own to both teams for having a fantastic series to broadcast and commentate. It's always great to have such strong play to be able to actually make comments on. So shout outs to both of them. All of the NGS staff for making the league what it is. It wouldn't operate without all their hard work. And last but not least, to all of the artists, musicians, and programmers whose work I feature on my broadcasts. It wouldn't look or sound anywhere near as good without their contributions. You can check out the !credits command in chat for any of their work. It's all Creative Commons licensed, so you can use it in your projects as well. So check them out. I would recommend it. And if you've enjoyed the broadcast, feel free to stop by my channel anytime. That's also in chat. We'd love to have you. If you haven't voted for your favorite broadcaster and are a part of the NGS server, you'll have access to that, survey there. I'd be honored if you voted for me if you enjoyed it. Until next time, good luck and have fun. Peace and love.